fellow YouTubers. In today's video, I'd like to go over some tips and tricks on when you're dealing with for sale by owner homes. With that being said, let's go over to my laptop so I can give you some tips and tricks on the issue. Things to consider when selling your own house. Reasons why you might want to sell your home now. The demand is strong. You've been doing your homework and you find out the demand is strong. There's less competition now. You see that in your local area there might be less competition, so you want to sell your home. The process will be quicker because you figure that there's less competition, so the process will be quicker. There will never be a better time to move up, meaning that, hey, you're going to take advantage. You saw that the dollars went up and you don't have that much competition, so you want to take advantage of the market. Or it's time to move on in your life. You're retiring, you've decided that, hey, you don't want to live in this local area anymore, and you've decided it's time to move on. Should you consider an agent when selling your home? The choice really is up to you. You need to keep that in mind as you're going through this process. 90% of the buyers in today's market use the internet, so you might want to use things such as Craigslist or Facebook ads to get people to look at your home. The advantages and disadvantages of using an agent could be considered. You need to ask yourself, how long will it take to regain your commissions that you lost by using an agent? Again, the agent might help you sell your home quicker, but the disadvantages is you have to pay the commissions. So how long would it take you to recoup these commissions, and can you afford these commissions? The advantages of having an agent is that they can place your house on the multiple listing service known as the MLS. That could, potentially have more buyers looking at your home, but you have to look at all the advantages and disadvantages of considering whether or not you're going to sell it by yourself as for sale by owner, or you're going to be using an agent. If you're going to be doing your home and selling it on your own, whether you use an agent or not, these are things you really need to consider to make your home sellable. You want to make it important that you have your home in the finest condition as possible. You want to do any repairs, any cleanliness, any things that you need to do. You need to make sure that you stay on top of those things. Spending money on a good paint job could increase the value of your home significantly. So let's say you spend a $700 paint job, that could probably potentially gain you $3,000 on the sale of your home. Keep in mind when painting, you're not painting towards your taste. Use common colors, your white, beige, and things of that sort. You don't want to paint a room red or black or something to that effect. That's going to shy away potential customers. If you're stuck in the 60s with your decor, you might want to modernize it a little bit. People like things that are modern. They don't like things that are stuck in the 60s or 50s or 80s. You want to come up to the contemporary lifestyle. Don't spend money on needless repairs that are not going to profit you. That's the main thing. You don't want to spend too much money because you want to keep the money from the sale. You want to make money here on this potential deal. Market your home with your yard. That's one of the first things the buyer sees is they see the yard. You want to keep it clean. You want to make sure that the buyer is happy when he's looking at the yard. Mark the boundaries on your yard, so when they look at your yard, they see how far the property line is. Those are some little tricks you can use. If you have a tree in the yard, mention the shade that it provides during the summertime. Especially if you live in a warm climate, you can emphasize, hey, it helps keep your electric bill down. This big tree providing shade to your bedroom or living room as such. If the tree gives flowers, use them to scent your home, so that way when they're doing the walkthrough and you can comment on the flowers that the tree gives, that it blooms every fall or summer or whatever the case may be, to incentivize the buyer a little bit. If you have a pool area, you want to keep it clean. You don't want to have clutter and things of that sort. You want to present a good livable condition. You want to make them feel that say that, yeah, I see myself living here. If it's a mid-time in the year and you live in a place where there's seasons, you might want to consider placing flowers or hanging pots to entice the home a little bit. If you have a front door or a porch, show attention to these areas. Don't leave them unattended. No buyer wants to hear creepy steps. If there's a maintenance that needs to be conducted on the home, go ahead and conduct that maintenance. So that way they see that it's been upkept and this is a good potential home where they can see themselves. Does the doorbell work? Wouldn't that be kind of embarrassing? You're waiting for a potential client or customer. He's been ringing the doorbell for 5 minutes and you're like, oh, I was ringing the doorbell, but nobody answered the door. And then they've come to find out the doorbell's not working. Make sure the little things like this you take care of ahead of time. Touch up areas where paint might be flaking. You want to touch up those areas. You don't want the home to look like it's not being taken care of. Spray away any spider webs, any potential spider webs. Nobody likes to see spider webs in their homes. If you have a front porch, you want to make it attractive. Provide some porch furniture, patio furniture that could entice the buyer to think that, yeah, I see myself living here. And like I stated before, hang some plants, make it more appealing for the buyer. Let the buyer visualize their potential paradise. And then that way, they can see themselves living in this home. Your driveway and the garage. This is a section of the house that potential buyers see immediately. You want to keep those areas clean, and your driveway, you want to keep it clean. Remove any toys or weeds you might have out there. You might, if it's if you live in an area where there's a lot of snow, you might want to keep that driveway clean, especially when you have a potential client coming to the home. If you have any potholes, you want to have them repaired. You don't want to have the potholes there prior to selling your home. You want to have everything nice and orderly. If you have any stains, you want to have them removed. You want an appealing look. Like I stated before, you want the buyer to visualize himself that he's going to live in this home. Remember, you want the potential buyer to envision that they could be here and you've taken care of all the work that needs to be done and kept the house upright. The family room and the living room are very important as well. These rooms are the second most lived rooms in the average home. The family life is centered in these rooms. You have the presence of these rooms where potential buyers can see themselves. In other words, picture themselves living in the living room. So have good props that are appealing. So as you go along the way throughout the home, there's things that are enticing to the eye that the potential buyer can see themselves again living there. That's the main premise on all this. You want them to envision themselves living in this home. The dining area is very important as well. Remember, when potential buyers view your home, they're thinking about the family. So you might want to provide that white picket fence feeling to the home. You should decorate the table. You want to make it feel homey. Another good important aspect of your home is the kitchen. The kitchen is really the number one area in the home. You want to make it feel happy and appealing. I suggest that in the home that if there's a person walking through the home and you're showing your home, to wait in the kitchen area. Have some freshly baked cookies on the countertop. This will stimulate their senses and help them. You might also have some potpourri to make the home seem more appealing to their senses. You're trying to sell your home and you're trying to make it as appealing as possible, and activating their senses is a good thing. Keep your countertops area clean and not cluttered. That cluttered view or appealing, it's going to make them believe that there's not enough room in this home. So keep the areas open, put stuff away if you feel that it's cluttered, so that way they feel they have that appealing look to them. Things to consider that you don't want to scare potential buyers away. You don't want signs of having pets throughout the house. Don't leave dead bugs laying around, surprising smells because your dog left some feces in the house, you didn't take care of it. Dark areas in your home, you want to have those dark areas lit up. Evidence of death or hoarding, you want to get rid of things that are hoarding. Death, you had a dead rat that died in the attic and you didn't take care of the smell or the rat itself, you want to get rid of that. Personal photos that might be offensive, you want to take those things down. You don't want any personal photos that might be offensive to your clients, so you want to take those things down before the walkthrough. You have to be ready to negotiate. Be prepared to negotiate the deal. So do your homework beforehand. Know your fair market value on your property. Provide yourself with some wiggle room when the time comes. Providing yourself with some wiggle room can help you deal with whatever the counteroffer that comes your way. And if the numbers work, have all the appropriate paperwork ready for the transaction. Having all the appropriate paperwork ready, or setting it up, or whatever the case may be in your scenario, having these things taken care of prior to the walkthrough or being ready to close the deal can make it a lot easier during the negotiation process. If you like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up on this video, and don't forget to subscribe. So every time I create videos like these helping you to learn about real estate or e-commerce, you will be notified immediately. In the description below, I'll place a link to my #1 opinion on making money here online with an online service. Go ahead and click on the description below, as well as my partners at Coast to Coast Capital Partners if you're looking for real estate investing. I thank you guys, and we'll see you on the next video.